Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for having us today. My name is Ty Black, and we will be presenting an analysis of Chicago Bridge and Iron. Chicago Bridge and Iron is a global engineering, procurement, and construction company that services the energy industry. Chicago Bridge and Iron is actually one of the largest in the industry, with revenues exceeding $5 billion and a market cap of $4.7 billion. CB&I is comprised of three main business segments. The first of which is steel plate structures, which create storage vessels for the oil and gas, nuclear, water, and wastewater industries. The second segment is engineering and construction, and the third is Loomis Technologies, which provides its customers licenses in the hydrocarbon, petrochemical, and chemical industries. CB&I is currently in the midst of a major acquisition of the Shaw Group, which will provide CB&I a large competitive advantage in the globally expanding energy market. The Shaw Group is mainly focused on the maintenance, fabrication, management, and the environmental aspects of the oil and gas, fossil fuel power generation, and various government agencies. We currently have a hold recommendation on CBI with a target price of $54.35, just moderately above the current stock price of $51.25. Next, Gary Schwartz will give you an industry analysis, talk a bit about competitive positioning and the risks. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ty. All right, since we understand the business segments, we want to focus on three main points for the industry highlights. First is global demand, which is dependent on commodity prices. Second is the heavy construction industry, which is sensitive to economic fluctuations. And third are trends in the energy industry relating to oil and gas, coal, nuclear, and other forms of clean energy. All right, because of the Bakken Shale formations in North America, the Eagle Ford formations in Texas, along with the Canadian oil sands, this has allowed North America to capitalize on extensive oil and natural gas production. This has pushed North America past 14 billion barrels of oil and over 860 billion cubic meters of natural gas produced every year. Because of the large amount of natural gas and supply and the large amount produced, this has basically led to a decrease in price of natural gas. What this has done is this has allowed utility companies to make a local power transition from coal to natural gas. In the Asia Pacific region, natural gas must be imported in a liquefied form and then regasified near the place of utilization. Coal consumption. Basically, because the power shift in North America to natural gas from coal, this allowed there to be a surplus of coal. This has allowed European utility companies to shift away from natural gas towards coal, as seen in the decline in coal in North America and the increase in coal consumption in Europe. After the Japanese tsunami in March 2011, many countries have reviewed their outlook on their nuclear consumption. After all, this isn't the first time a disaster has occurred. We believe countries which are less risk sensitive to things like natural disasters, and two, countries which commodity prices remain more expensive, will be likely to undertake further consumption of nuclear power generation. We believe these countries to be China, India, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, with China possibly extending its output to 150% of its current capacity within the next 10 years. Alright, we believe CB&I steel plate structures will likely be its most profitable segment in 2013. This is because of the continued demand for liquefied storage vessels, along with countries such as China and Saudi Arabia, which plan to undertake massive projects for building storage facilities for crude oil. Second, the engineering construction segment will continue to capitalize on the demand for extraction platforms, while Loomis Technology will continue to provide licenses to customers in the globally growing hydrocarbon market. Lastly, Shaw provides a diversity towards nuclear, fossil fuel power generation industries, nuclear power generation industry, pipe fabrication, and various government agency projects in North America. The competitive positioning stems from two aspects. The first is the services, which include feed or front-end engineering and design, and modular fabrication. These are things that many of their competitors do not possess. The second is their position in the shale revolution. Their position in the shale revolution has allowed them to capitalize on the global energy shifts we mentioned before, and has allowed them to capitalize on increasing demand for natural gas and liquefied natural gas products. We believe the top three risks for the company include environmental and safety regulations, economic fluctuations, and the risk from competitive bidding. Next, Hade Khan will speak about the historical financial record.
One of the main strategies of CBI has been to grow through acquisitions, and for more than a decade, CBI has exhibited strong growth through its revenues increasing by 20% on a compounded annual rate. In 2008, it was impacted by the financial crisis, with its revenues declining in 2009 and 2010 by 23% and 20% respectively. In In 2011, the revenues increased by 25%, almost returning to its highest level since 2007, and 20% for the 9 months in 2012. The company's backlog has also increased, currently being at 9.5 billion with a good mix of reimbursable and leasing contracts. Both quarterly and year-to-date increase has been due to the increase in liquefied natural gas and engineering, procurement, and construction projects. Each of the three segments had a strong year in 2011, as evidenced by gross profits of 12.5%. CBI's cost of goods sold had reduced from its high of 96% to 88% in 2011, being one of the largest contributing factors to increased profits. Earnings per share had increased at a compounded annual rate of 17% for the last 3 years, currently being at 2.86, and the company has only 40 million in debt, leading to a debt-equity ratio of 0.01, indicating the management's ability to deleverage the company in order to acquire more debt for the Shaw transaction. In 2012, for September 30th, the company had more cash than debt, leading to a debt on its balance sheet, and in the pro forma balance sheet, the company had total debt obligations of 1.9 billion with 800 million in cash, resulting in a net debt balance of 1 billion, just representing 15% of total market capitalization. Next, Aaron Rogers will talk about valuations.
Thank you. We base our projections off the forecast laid out in the Shaw prospectus. We got revenue and EBITDA from this, and also about 1.8 billion of pro forma debt. Now, this debt is split up between a $1 billion term loan at an interest rate of about 3% and 800 million in notes at an interest rate of about 5%. Historically, CB&I keeps his large cash reserves, so we expect them to have about 800 million in cash, and free cash flow above that we use to service the debt. Now, we came up with 3 different base scenarios: conservative, moderate, and optimistic, and we sensitized these with at 0, 50%, and 100% of synergies. And these synergies were identified by management as revenue synergies and cost savings from the acquisition of Shaw. Now, in each of these scenarios, we had year-over-year profit growth. All the debt actually was repaid by 2016, and some of the more optimistic cases was actually repaid in 2015. And an accumulation of cash was set up CB&I to acquire a new company in the near future. For evaluation, we did 3 different methods: PE, EBITDA multiples, and discounted cash flow. We felt that the most realistic scenario was the conservative base case 50% synergies, and we used this list of companies to come up with a weighted average for our PE and EBITDA multiples. For our PE, we came up with 12.6, and EBITDA multiples, we used 7.4. Now, our 2013 EPS projected was $4.14 a share. The 50% multiplied by the 12.6, our 50% conservative synergies, comes up with $52.10 a share. For the EBITDA multiples, we had about 930 million projected in 2013. Multiply this by 7.4, and we have our $54.56 a share. And then for our discounted cash flows, we used 11.4% weighted average cost of capital discounted to the present. We got this using an estimated 7% market return, 2% for the risk-free rate, because that's about where 10-year T-bonds are trading right now. 4.15% for the pre-tax cost of debt, about a 20% weighted debt due to pro forma debt they're acquiring the Shaw, 80% weighted equity, and we calculated beta to be 2.3. This gave us a share price of $54.65 a share. So we assigned weights to each of our valuation methods and came to our price of $54.35 a share. Now, we decided to hold rating on CB&I because it's only a 6% return up from the 51.25 it's currently at. However, we do feel that they have strong global diversification, great current financial condition, and they're projected growing through the near future. Thank you all. Do we have any questions?
On your valuation,
Yes.
and I guess we'll just go in order, guys.
So can we start our 10-minute question?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to reach
On your valuation, your weighting, talk to me through your perspective, and I don't know if you can pop that slide up there. You thought DCF and EBITDA got a much higher weighting than PE. What is your thinking there?
Well, in the industry, with the, I feel discount cash flow is a stronger valuation method, and that's why I lean more towards that. And in the industry, the 7.4 multiple is kind of what's looked at, because even the Shaw acquisition, you had that 7.1 multiple of whereas CB&I acquired Shaw. So that's why we lean more towards those two.
So it's just kind of what you thought, or what you felt?
A little bit on the discounted cash flow side, yes, but EBITDA multiples are important in this industry, and that's why we, because me personally, I am a proponent of discounted cash flow. But
I was just thinking of the weights. The weighting's
Yes.
just kind of
Yes,
kind
yes.
of 45 or whatever.
Mhm.
Let's see. You talked. How did you find your beta that you used for that? Let's look at that. Use what 2.4 times?
We have a appendix. Well, it's okay. You have to scroll through to the very last slide. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't have
No
the
worries.
link. Keep going. It's all the way to the end. Right there. Okay, we did a regression with CB&I against the S&P 500, with the S&P 500 on the x-axis and the y-axis with CB&I. We took the 5-year adjusted price for the S&P 500, and we took the closed price for CB&I, and we did a regression on the percentages changed monthly prices since I believe December 2007 through December 2012, and we came up with a correlation of 0.54 for the S&P 500 and a beta of 0.231 with almost no alpha.
So it's actually monthly betas, or monthly
Yeah.
returns.
Yes, sir, we use monthly.
If I adjust the S&P, it was adjusted by risk-free rate. Is that what you're
Those, what I mean by those, I took the adjusted close price. That
Okay,
accounts for the
gotcha.
dividends.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the historical last 10 years average EBITDA multiple or PE multiple for this industry from, I guess, their competitive range and their competitors?
I didn't calculate it back that far. However, I did calculate based off projected EPSs, and it was 7.4 for 2013, and I think it was 8.1 for 2014.
You talked about using a weighted average of the industry of 12.6 times for PE and 7.4 times for EBITDA.
Yes.
Where do you see the combined company fitting on a segment-by-segment basis? Are they
Well,
equivalent to the industry, better than the industry, worse than the industry? How do you perceive that?
can you ask it again so I can make sure I understand what you're asking? I'm sorry.
I guess my opinion is you're assuming when you use the average that this company is average compared to the rest of the industry. Do you believe that to be true?
Well, in most of the multiples I calculated out when evaluating it, it stayed relatively, I believe, the PE multiple was like 0.2 under the weighted average for the industry. So it in my calculations, it sits fairly close to the industry.
Did you ever consider valuing by sector and then adding that together? Or by segment?
No, sorry, no.
Did you ever?
I can give you guys a little bit of feedback on one of your slides. You got an earnings per share slide, and you give me 08 through 2012 EPS. Go ahead and give me your estimates there for 2013 if you have one for 2014, and just put them in the
You
slide.
go to the bottom, EPS, EBITDA. These are the lists of our projections for each scenarios.
Right, but even there, it doesn't really say 2013, 2014. That's kind of how the industry does it.
Right. We just want,
Okay, that's
your audience might not be as sophisticated as you are, and trust me, they probably won't be.
Okay.
But, so it's better if they have it on a picture. So,
Okay.
so just put it on the slide there.
Okay.
Could you guys tell me a little bit about Loomis? I mean, I read into them a little bit. They're an interesting business. And could you just tell me how they make money for CBI?
Loomis was acquired in 2007 from okay, I don't remember.
From somebody, it doesn't matter.
Right. Okay, Loomis was acquired in 2007. They provide licenses. They have over 2,600 patents. They provide licenses to in the hydrocarbon, petrochemical, and chemical industries. They provide, I guess, chemical licenses. There's chemicals and different things that are patented that you need in the refining process of oil and natural gas. And Loomis technology also aids in building the peak shaving facilities.
So it's good that you know that, but do you know exactly what that means? I mean, you say they got these technologies and people need it. Do you know how?
Well, I know companies need it, like in the refining process. For example, they're going to build a refining plant. Loomis technology works in coherence with the rest of the business to oversee this. Like I know you use like hydrogen, for example, as a chemical, in the refining process to cool the I don't know exactly, I'm not an oil technician, but I know you use hydrogen just for Loomis technology.
Yeah, they've got some different gasification processes that actually are safer and less caustic, and things like that. It's pretty fascinating. They really are fascinating what they do. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, there's so much information on this stuff.
Yep. And it's your job to know it the best you can. Can you tell me a little bit about your numbers and how you anticipate that bringing Shaw in is going to affect the margins or any synergies that you might see over the next couple of years?
Well, as I said, part of what's built into our scenarios for are these synergies. Management, as I said, identified 115 million in revenue synergies and between 45 and 55 million in cost saving synergies. I do expect them to accumulate most of those synergies. However, it's the first quarter of 2013, and they still haven't acquired Shaw yet. Now, it should take place. It is projected to take place in this quarter, but it's going to take a little while to get that integrated. So I think they will realize them in 2014, maybe 2015, but it's still going to be.
If I could get ultimately a breakdown of the numbers a little better than 50% synergy and 10% synergy, that would be helpful to me to see how you think that's.
Well, the way actually I built it out was for 2013. I assumed because they anticipated at least a 30 million impact instantly, and I built that in the first year. And I'll talk about the conservative because I was more aggressive with each of the cases. But I built in that 30 instantly, and then in 2013 I put in for 50% synergies. I stair-stepped it. So like the 115 million is split in half, which was 57.5. And I put 25% of that recognized in 2013, and then 50% of that number recognized 2014, et cetera, until 100% of that was recognized. And I did that for each scenario. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I kind of know you only have 10 minutes, but I realize that I would like to see a little better picture of how that folds in with this. I mean, this is good. Don't get me wrong.
What's your revenue growth rate for 2013?
I don't believe I calculated. It goes. It's difficult to calculate that out because it's pro forma, but I think it goes from.
Well, no, that should be in your model.
Yes.
If you've got an EPS model, you'd have revenue forecasting. So just show us what your revenue forecast looks like and what your growth rate is. That's usually pretty helpful too. Yeah, I don't think you have it. I see your revenue slide. So again, you showed me historical, show me your projection as well. That's usually something people want to see.
It's nice to compare it to what the analysts expect as well. So you either have a more optimistic or less optimistic case, and you defend that a little bit. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
You have any more?
I think we're done. We got one more?
No, we've got a minute. One more minute.
Why do you view the DCF as a favorite choice for you? Why do you view that?
I think it takes into account a lot more variables than some of the other. I tend to lean more towards the. I like math, and I think that when you can accommodate and calculate some of the, as I said, different variables, you tend to have a little bit more of a precise answer. Yes.
Are some of those variables not a bit subjective?
To some degree, yes. I think, with any projections, you are going to deal with a certain amount of subjectivity, but that subjectivity, in my mind, is spread out across all three evaluation methods, because some of the same assumptions are, I use similar assumptions across all three, so I think this subjectivity is mitigated slightly by doing three different evaluation methods.
I think most people would tell you, in general, that multiples of a PE multiple or even not multiples probably more carrying of an actual valuation, historically speaking, as well as future, than your DCF model.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Good job.